Hello, welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And this is week 6 of 7 of semester 4. We are on the home stretch of this 7-week semester. We've been progressing our skills and our endurance behind that 2-handed kettlebell swing. And today we will hit that number 100 swings in 2 sets of 50. Well, really 5 sets of 10 twice. But anyway, and then next week we'll put it all together in our 100 in one foul swoop. Let's get warmed up with our body weight, and we have our kettlebell off to the side. Until then,
it's the body weight. Let's get the feet and then right to the floor. The ball of the foot like the lunge. Let's use our hips and push through and find a really quick balance. Then come down nice and slowly on the other side. Then press through that flat foot to rise up again, and then return to the ground with control. Repeating one more of each, a quick pause at the top to brace your shield and squeeze your butts, and then consistent with the swing, straight kneecaps. Pull up the kneecaps into the hips. Now on 2 feet, let's come down nice and slowly together. Then we'll get some knees over toes because they might get there in this practice just a little bit too. And from there though, cramp those glutes, extend the hips, and again, finish pulling up the kneecaps. But if you want more of those moves, join us maybe on Thursday, where we'll be more on the tiptoes like at the bar. But right now, we'll get to the floor with our knees over the toes, then the heels that could lift up, the knees that quietly land on the floor, followed by the hip extension, and then quick hands on the ground. Fingers, calluses, full hand. First at the head neck extension. The head probably won't be here in the kettlebell swing. Gently flex. It probably also won't be here in the kettlebell swing. It'll be somewhere in between, but explore extension, looking forward, and flexion, looking at the hands. Then a first knuckle push-up to get the crack out and to just continue to ground the hands through the fingertips and the calluses, very similar to the feet in the swing again. Repeat that once or so more, and then push away and shake it on out. Let's just do that 180 degrees turn at those shoulders or hands, or somehow get the fingertips back to face the knees. And this time, do a lateral bend, ear to shoulder. Consider moving the head, but not the neck, as you go from one side to the other. Maintain your breath. Press your fingertips in the floor. Keep the elbows straight. Shoulders are the ears. All, again, great cues to share when holding a kettlebell. Then bend the elbows. Flick the floor away as we extend the hips through, with again a little bit of a shake. Let's go back to the original handshake now, fingers down like wrist extensions, similar to push-ups. And then at the shoulder blades, shrug up to the ears, but then pull them down, lats or shoulder blades towards those hips. Repeat again, shrug up. And for the rest of today's practice, let's commit to pulling them down. Then retract, holding that heavy kettlebell swing, a great position for those. But let's do the opposite, or protract, pressing into the floor. But for today's practice, let's commit to keeping those shoulder blades in retraction, squeezing together. We'll push that away. We'll do a really quick shoulder warm-up from a lunge position, but maybe let's let Lauren warm up the lunge or the hips first.
Oh, that's my favorite. Let's get to that lunge position, because what would a strength and swings class be without get-ups? And in that get-up, we need our lunge. So let's get that front leg forward, vertical shin, back hip extended, and we're going to get right away into that hover position. So you're starting to push the floor forward and back without changing anything or leaning too far forward. Let's hover that back knee off the floor. Pull the front leg in, push the back hip forward, softly land. Let's repeat that again. We're pushing forward and back to ascend, but keeping everything under us. Now feel the pull, but now could you lift that front heel off the floor and then put it down? Could we come up a little higher? Lift the front heel. Put it down. Come up a little higher, but keep the front shin bent. Lift the heel. Don't keep the shin bent. Keep the shin vertical. Now let's keep the heel lifted and pull ourselves all the way back down. Heel comes down. Take a second, but don't go too far. Heel toe that leg open to the side. Now that it's here, knee and toe are in the same line. Hips are facing forward. Hike that side hip up and then pull it down. And then with it pulled down, let's pull on that leg, trying to keep the hip flexor quiet as we get our knee towards over our toe. Squeezing that back cheek, working on that ankle mobility, push the floor forward to come back up to tall. Heel toe the leg to the front, bring it underneath, and let's switch legs. Same routine, other side. vertical shin, back toe tucked. Start pushing the floor forward back. Keep cage on top as you hover off the floor. Hip remains extended, and then soft landing. Continue pushing forward and back to get to the hover. Now lift the front heel, put it down. Little higher. Lift the front heel, put it down. Little higher. Lift the front heel, hold it. Try to keep the heel up as we come down to the floor. Heel lands. Whew. Heel toe the leg out to the side. Knee and toe in the same line. Hiking the hip, pulling the hip down, staying square to the front of your room as you pull yourself forward. Try to keep this in a nice straight line on this side of your body versus letting that hip crink over there. Push into the floor to come back up to tall. Repeat again. Pull yourself over, squeezing the back cheek, extending the hip, and then push yourself back up to tall. Heel toe the leg to the front, bring it underneath, and then we'll get back to that shoulder activity.
So check in with the body weight drills on the shoulder before we ever load that with the kettlebell here. So let's get into our lunging position. And with the hand at the side of the hip, start with a shrug up. But under that kettlebell load, consider pulling that armpit down and retract. Now the shoulder blade will move, but initiate that from the socket here as we go towards your overhead shape. Keep the elbow straight as we turn in on the shoulder, thumb trending towards down, hand reaching towards the back, and then bring the hand back towards the hip. Address the blade, shore up that slack, and then extension on the shoulders reaching back behind us. Turn from that shoulder socket, pull the armpit low, those lat muscles engaged to bring a straight arm towards overhead, and then a straight arm back down to the hip. Typically, that feels so good. Kind of just opens up those ranges, gets working through the shoulder, but check in to make sure that feels safe for you. With the arm at the hip, nice and extended on the elbow, retract the blade. Then take a straight arm towards your safe overhead. If we can't get very close to that ear, maybe holding the kettlebell overhead is a progression to aspire to in the future. But if we're here, let's go turning in, keeping the elbow straight and staying square, chest and hips forward. The arm is behind, then we'll return it to the hip. Address the shoulder blade, retract. Then extend the shoulder, meaning reach back. Then turn humerus in that shoulder socket up there and pull the armpit low as the arm goes overhead and a straight arm returning all the way back down. We need our little hips, we need our shoulders, those ball and socket joints, but connecting them is the core. So Lauren, how are we gonna just check in with that core muscle group here to start?
Let's get into that plank position. So with our hands on the floor, we'll step our feet back into about the distance you would swing from. So make those feet in your hinge width distance. Now, shoulders are over top of hands, butt cheeks are squeezed. We're pulling the floor together underneath of us, bracing our abs. We're imagining we're at the top of our swing, so our shoulders are retracted, our lats are engaged, our abs are braced, our feet are rooted, our kneecaps are pulled up, so our quads are tight for 3, 2, hips lift. Let's walk ourselves back to that hinge and just do a quick hinge check in here. So in that hinge, your hands will come up. You'll find that hinge position, which is hips going back, shins vertical, and body about 45 degrees with the floor. We don't want to be folded completely in half here. As we're here, try to reach the tailbone or those hamstrings or those hips towards the ceiling to really lengthen out the hammies, and then just relax. And let's do that again. Keep the toes heavy and try to reach the hamstrings, the top of the pelvis or the back of the pelvis to the ceiling and relax. And do that one more time. Lift, lift, lift to lengthen out. Come back partway in between. Push the floor. Stand up tall. Before you move, squeeze the butt cheeks. Push down and out on the floor. Extend the arms. Blades retracted. Lats engaged. Cage down. Top of your swing for 3, 2, and then relax. Woo. So today's practice, we're going to start with a light spring warm-up, and then we're going to get our 50 swings done right away. Then we're going to have an intermission of some get-ups, and we're going to come back to those 50 swings. So right now, let's start with that swing warm-up, and let's go an I go, you go pattern for this warm-up, starting with Ian's team. 3, I like that number, hike passes. So pull to zipper and park. Notice that park is so soft. What that means is we're in control of the bell. We're not tipping forward when the bell lands on the floor.
The hike pass allows us to root those toes, pack those shoulders, and get tension before we start to ballistically swing it off of those hips. Quiet as ever, and from those hike passes to the
stop swings. Let's keep the number here, 3 here. So 3 stop swings. That means 1 full swing and then park the bell softly on the floor. 1 full swing, park bell. Nice. Team Lauren.
So it's a quick breath in before that kettlebell gets hiked, and then as the kettlebell extends or ballistically flies off with those hips, that sharp exhale. 3 and 3 and 3 more.
And we'll finish our little warm up here with a round of 3 kettlebell swings continuous. So no putting that bell down, using the hips to send that bell forward. Exhale at the same time as the hip snap.
Don't hold back. Always stay safe, but finish each swing in that ballistic pattern with the kettlebell reaching that chest height. If it's flying away, try harder to lock it in with the core, or get a heavier kettlebell where we're able to feel that right urge off those hips to extend with power.
All right, Team Ian has to go first here because hair and makeup didn't do my hair. That's appropriate for these kettlebell swings. So I'm going to quickly braid it as Team Ian starts with up to 10 swings. We're doing this for 5 rounds. If 10 is too many, please feel free to do less than 10. But we're working towards that 10 number. We have progressed those reps over the past couple weeks. We're going to learn how fast I can French braid my hair. Not in 10 kettlebell swings, but I'm almost done.
10 kettlebell swings with high tension, and then we get to rest and shake it out.
I bought you some extra time.
Perhaps tuck that t-shirt in. Pay attention to the setup. Essential, very first repetitions ensure you to stay safe and strong through sets. If you want to do this practice, maybe do 5 or 3, and then just follow along with some active rest in between. And as we approach 10 swings for Team Lauren, let's get ready here. We're doing that number 11 to 20 swings right now.
Yes, so this is set 2 of set 5 here. Once this set is completed, as Ian said, we'll be done. 20 swings in today's practice. Keep the exhale strong. Keep each swing the same, or at least that's your goal. Hips are going back every time. Keep the hinge, keep the hinge, keep the hinge.
Whew. At the top, it's a really incredible brace. At the back, we're still braced on those core muscles. Find tension throughout the swing, and amplify that tension on the abs at the top, inclusive of the shoulder blades staying in retraction. Take a breath to recover here, nice and slow in. Nice and slow out. Let's do that 3rd set.
And as we know with those high tension swings, we want that easy tension as we rest. So we're taking the inhale, we're taking the exhale. We're trying to slow down our breath and control it. We're in control. Keep those arms loose, keep the legs loose. They'll recover a little bit faster. Taking us to number 30.
Feeling that on the heart rate and feeling that on the grips as well. Maintain a nice strong grip with that kettlebell, but grip it not only just with the hands, but with the extended elbows, the shoulder blades retracted, and those shoulder blades continue to be pressed down onto the core or the rib cage. And then to the hips, the powerhouse of the movement.
Oh, set number 4 here. When we're done this set, 40 swings done. Take the big inhale, take the big exhale. Take your time here. We have a couple more swings to recover. Things I'm thinking about on my swing, use my hinge. Hip snap through, delay my hinge as the bell starts to fall.
Things I'm thinking about here is, oh my goodness, we have another set. But focus on this set right now with each individual repetition. Heavy toes, shoulder blades back, high tension, and look to refine that checklist as you go through the day's practice. Lauren's second last set for this round, which means this is our last set.
Sometimes that second last set is where you start to find your groove. You're still a little winded, but you're thinking, you know, I can do one more set. All good. It's like climbing that hill on your bicycle. Gets to a point and you can just keep going. Or at least that's what you tell yourself.
Gotta play those mind games a little bit. Give yourself the power to know that this is very challenging. With the breath right now as you recover, in slow, out even slower, forcing that exhale away can give us the confidence that we can do that again. but I promise, not quite yet. There's a couple more get-ups to do before. But right now, maybe collectively take a breath in. And a nice slow breath out. Let's repeat nice and slow in. And a nice slow exhale as well. One more time. Breath in. Slow exhale.
Whew.
And repeat. I'm sure Lauren's gonna make that a little more challenging by the end of today's practice, but slow in, slow out can help reinforce that we're ready to do it again. But what's first?
But right now, we are going to get 8 get-ups done here today. And each set is going to be alternating. So last day we pressed our kettlebell at the top of our get-up. Today we're going to start on the floor. And we're going to do the number 1 to 5 floor presses. So we'll be lying down, press the bell, pull it down, press the bell, pull it down. When you're done your reps, keep it up. Full get up, full get up, back down, bell goes down, switch arms. That's round 1. Round 2, we'll start at the top. We'll do 1 to 5 presses, full get up, down, full get up, back up, bell comes down to their side, back to floor presses, standing presses, 8 get-ups. Then we'll talk about what's after.
Let's do it.
So what that means is we have to come to the floor and we start our get-up the same way we would start our get-up, the usual way, which is our cuddle roll and 2-handed press. Set up your legs. Once the bell's here, we're going to pull the bell down to elbow touches the floor, press the bell back up. Pull it down, press it up. I'm gonna go number 3, pull it down, press it up. Then from here, hip drive pull. Find your hand, bridge sweep, press through. If you're not into doing a get up today, you're still lying on the floor, holding that bell in that firing range position for the duration, of the get up. Elbow, push away from your elbow to your back, pull the bell down and return it to the floor. Let it go.
Nice.
Spin yourself around.
Feels good, and replicating that on the same thing on their side now. So it's 3 floor presses. Help Lauren standardize so that elbow touches the floor as we do 1 and 2, and then 1 more for 3. Now drive through that bent leg, pull on the elbow, sit tall, bridge, sweep, squaring up the lunge, and finishing tall yet again. And then returning to the floor with control, opening, hinging, and sweeping, elbow, floor, to the ground, and then that no-handed get-up variation in between.
So now we're going to take a second or two, and then we're going to start our get-ups from the top down. So this time, instead of that floor press, we'll pick our bell up into that conventional rack position, press it. Try to do the same number of presses you did on the floor as we do from standing. If you have to cut a rep or 2, that's okay. I'll make sure whatever press looks as good as number 1. Here we go. You wanted the rest and now you're rushing me.
Well, I didn't think you were going to give us the rest.
I was trying to buy you time. I'm ready.
I'll take it.
Let's go.
Okay.
To the rack. 1, 2, 3. Step back lunge. Take your time coming to the floor. Sweep, elbow away to your back, and come back up with the hip drive pull. The hand, the bridge sweep. Press through, square up, stand up, pull ball down, place it down. Take a second. That was one side. We have a second side.
3 reps. I'll try to do it as I talk here. So we press out of the rack for 1. And there's our 2 catching up to Lauren. And then the 3rd. Got it. Take your time. Come down. Sounds are optional. Sometimes they need help. We're sweeping through and finding the elbow and then getting to our back. Now drive the hip. Tall sit. Sweep. Press through. Square up lunge. Tall stand. Pull rack. Turn it to the floor. Sets 1 and 2, which really equals 4 reps. Lauren said 8, which means you get back to the floor now. Maybe give ourselves
so this time with our floor press, you could do the same thing, which was set up like the get up, with the same knee bent, or you could try something different and do the opposite leg to a get up, When you're done your presses, you'll switch your leg back to assume that get up position. So you could do either, whatever you do. Let's start in the cuddle, roll to our back. I am gonna switch legs, pull down, up, press, 1, pull down, up, press, 2, and 3. Now switch your legs back, hip drive. Find your hand, bridge sweep, press through, square up, stand up, step back, open up, work your way back down, looking at that bell as we get to the elbow, to our back, and then bell comes down, returning it to the floor. Take your time, spin yourself around, and whatever setup you did on that side, let's do the same thing over here.
So my bell's in the left, as is Lauren's, which means my right leg will be bent. Push with 2 hands up and pull down and press 1. Inhale down and press 2. And then that one more time. Then switch that coordination on legs and drive through the bent leg. Sit tall, bridging, pressing the floor away, squaring up in the lunge, and standing tall, and return to the ground with control. Now look at that bell as we hinge. Sit tall, elbow to the ground, 2 hands down, and no hands on the up.
All right, we're 6 get-ups in. We have our last 2 to go. We're back to standing, and this time, nothing changes. So we press it that couple number, that same number. I'm gonna do 3 again, and then we do our full get-up down, our full get-up up. What'd you say?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
Nothing changes.
Oh, nothing changes.
Gonna get those 3.
All right, first side. Here we go. Hold the rack. Hup. 1. Hup. 2. One more. Strong base, strong core. Press. Get down. Looking at that bell as you get to that windmill position. Keeping the bell up when you get to your back. And returning back. Up to tall. Stand with control. Pull it down. Place it on the floor. Great.
Any other tips for those who need a rest right now, Lauren? Please? Please? Okay. Gonna be a struggle on this side, so if I could make one request or tips, let's let Lauren keep the mic for this one and focus on this press.
Last get up here. So number 8, let's use our hinge. Let's pick it up. Let's press it once. Pull it down. Button out. 2, that launch pad. 1 more. 3. Good. Then our step back lunge. Our rotate hinge. Sweep. Elbow. Back. Last half get up. Up to the elbow. To the hand. Sweeping. Pressing. Squaring up. Standing up. Pulling down. And then as promised, a little break.
Thank you.
And we have 1 more round of things to do. And that's our 10 by 5 again.
50. 50 to start, 8 get-ups, 50 more swings. Maybe that's gonna take us to about 30 minutes. And here's that team Lauren. Go along with her if you can. And if not, rest with me. Check out Lauren's swing. There's that breath. The breath in on the backswing. The heavy feet. The floor isn't quite shaking, but I can definitely feel the power of Lauren's swing there. Lauren will park. That's our cue to get going.
Oh, I've been counting these sets of 10 as 5. And then another round of 5. It feels good for me to do it that way. Whether you count up to 10 or back down from 10 or 2 times 5, just make sure you don't forget. A couple more swings for Team Ian here as we enjoy a little recovery and getting into round 2.
Definitely on that second wind, but feeling empowered by it at the same time. If you need to scale back your reps, please do so. But as Lauren is now on that second of 5 sets of swings, they sure look, they probably feel a little bit different, but they look again like it's that first set. Nice, great form.
Thank you. I've been practicing with bars and bells. In and out. In and out. Loose in between. Shaking and out. Keeping the breath. Well, this is our peak of a set. This is the top of the hill, the crest.
That's set number 3. So if you're resting with me, let's go in slow with the breath. And then out slow as well, forcing the breath away. As you rest, or as you swing, breathe away, not down. Keep the core supported with the power of the breath.
Remembering, off of Ian's point there, that our core and our swing is not just our friend, but it's also our tree trunk back. So think 360 degrees as you do your swings. Supported on the hinge, supported on the up. 2 more rounds.
Oh, yes. What are you thinking about in your swing? Lauren mentioned those arms staying straight earlier. Cue those arms to stay straight with the shoulder blades that stay retracted. Breath out. Breath out. And those breaths, top up the breath versus fully depleting all the way out. Easier said than done, particularly in these last couple sets.
All right, that was round 4 for us, which means when Ian's done here, we all only have 10 more swings left. That's 100 on the day. Been working for that over the past couple of weeks, building from, I think, 40 or 30 even. We did that first week here. So it's that slow build to get to where we are today.
And look for those refining tips, those slow building steps that might take us all the way back to the 2-handed deadlift. Even before that would be a pretend deadlift, really working on that hinge. Struggle for breath where appropriate, find the form to stay safe all the way till this last set. I take one more big breath in here, one more breath out, visualizing 10, and here we go.
So Team Ian's finishing up the last set of 10 swings. As they do that, we get a little advanced time to take our inhale and take our exhale. And take our inhale and take our exhale. We're thinking of slowing down that heartbeat, of relaxing, bringing it down with our recovery in our own power. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And one more like this. Inhale and exhale. And now we'll add on. We'll inhale. We'll hold our breath. And then we'll exhale. And we'll hold our breath. And we'll inhale. And we'll hold our breath. And we'll exhale. And we'll hold our breath. And one more time, we'll inhale. And we'll hold. And we'll exhale. And we'll hold empty. And then we'll breathe in.
Or at least we'll try. Or at least
very good.
Try.
So that was week 6 of our Strength and Swings class. One more week of these next week, and then we go away for a little bit of a break. But you can always practice with us in the archive.
But enjoy your break as well. Interval training times, 30 minutes every time, with some active rest days in between. If you're excited to join us on Thursday, we're excited to have you along as we'll do more pressing, more squatting or plieing, working out those hips. And then on Saturday, we play with our strength, transitioning towards some playful crawls, the fun, challenging kick up, building towards the handstand.
So make sure in the meantime you like and subscribe on YouTube. You check out our website for our blogs and our classes that are in person here in our actual real life studio. And then as well, we are on Patreon. We're going to continue to work on our YouTube membership, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, take care.
Stay strong.
And let's train soon.
Have a good day.
Goodbye.